Well, a ho, 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 and a Merry Christmas to you all. It is
What's up? What's up?
time to have some fun, to start off, to do Apple Bites. And we have a plethora of people hanging out with us today. And we're about to get started and have a little bit of a blast. I hope you guys are all enjoying your Christmas or your holidays. There's so many at this time of year.
All the holidays.
Exactly. Gotta love holidays. Especially when they bring some good to the world. Even if it's for a brief moment.
A moment of joy.
Exactly. So, folks, as you can tell, we have a nice, beautiful kick. What is it? Kick to the end of the year.
Holiday kick.
The holiday season. A holiday blast.
A holiday kick.
Our own holiday party.
Sure.
And you know, we got to start off by going wham.
Wham.
Matt from Wham.
What's going on? We're just kicking it off. I'm kicking it off. All right.
If you want to kick it off, I was just showing you off because you got the wham.
Oh, wham! Yeah, boom, wham!
Look at that, dude.
Is it backwards
amazing.
though? It's backwards.
I just love how you get that done, and the fact that it's magnetic. And you can switch it in and out.
You know, swap them up.
Oh my God, he's swapping, guys.
Oh,
amazing!
He took it. He had one shot and he took it.
Hey,
Dad, mine's coming down.
Oh man. So
Nice.
I gotta say, you know, it's funny with you, Matt, because I was at New York Comic Con and you're like, oh, a couple people have my stuff. And
Right.
Everybody and their mother had just.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. Not everybody always shares when they do buy stuff back with me, you know, and I don't know everybody's like pseudonyms or their names under their comments and stuff. I just know the people that are excited that are telling me they'll be there, or that you know, maybe they've ordered something for it specifically. But yeah, no, it was really exciting to see actually how many people were there. And it was really neat to see. Yeah, man, I felt pretty. I honestly was speechless. Like I don't really know kind of how to, you know, I don't know how to accept those things. I think it's just really neat, and I love it. I love that people really, you know, are just digging it and you know, finding use out of it.
Did you think it was
that's
going to
great.
take off as much as it has?
You know, maybe a part of me did. Not like, you know, I mean, I think really what it was I didn't really have any intentions on doing this when I first started. Like a friend asked me to make him a comic stand because he was going to sell, you know, on, you know, Whatnot or something like that. So, you know, he just asked for a stand, and I really enjoy designing functional things and 3D printing functional items. So when I started that and then started working with like a comic store near me, you know, I did realize that there was obviously a lot of room in the community for my ideas. So I felt like I should definitely start, you know, like getting my ideas out there. But to be where I am now, and like the spinner rack I've made, the microphone, all that stuff, no, I had no clue that I was going to be here today. Not one clue. It's been quite the journey.
It's like, you know, and then just hanging out with Avina and seeing all the stuff you've done for him, dude.
Yeah, no, man. He comes up with ideas all the time, and he's like, "What about this? What about that?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I got you." Like, and you know, he's great too because he's very patient with me. You know, like sometimes it does take me a little bit of time to get him some stuff, but he's been a supporter since basically like day one. You know, I think he was actually one of my first like actual customers. I had another one which was oh gosh, George from Get Your Meds. You know, he was actually like my first actual like on my website customer, but like Avina was definitely like, "Hey man, I love what you're doing, like let's do it, like let me start working with you." So he's been there from the jump. So Avina, John, I you know, he's out there, dude. You know, just as what I'm, you know, I feel like just as all the like stuff I'm coming up with, I feel like that guy works harder than anybody I've come across. He is constantly pumping out new amazing comics, and he's always at every show. He's like, "Hey man, can you give me a few acts for this show? I sold out of those. Can you give me another one for that?" You know, like he's constantly working, man. But yeah, no, he's been great, man, and he has a lot of fun ideas, and he lets me explore. He lets me explore those ideas, and he's just like, "Oh man, that was great. Like, let's do it." So I'm like, "Cool, like, let's go, man." You know, so it's been super fun working with him.
Speaking of the devil, he's right there on the side as we're showing you him off, and you're talking about him. And he is busy. I don't know how he does half the stuff he does.
Always, he's always busy, man. If he's not doing that, he's probably doing some other job. Like, you know, I think he takes photography too. Like, he does everything, man. That's great.
And I know you partner up with him. He's going to show in a minute here for his new Kickstarter. You know, so
I had that right here. Bombshelly.
There you go.
So yeah, it's Kickstarter right now.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it has that much time left, but this is I think he's doing this as a like a gift if they reach a goal gift, you know. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm. It looks pretty.
Yeah,
it looks even prettier like this.
Right.
Dude,
it came out pretty cool.
How are you showing it off like this? It really stands out.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. And I don't have a pink stand because I sent them all to him right now. But
right.
You know, it's going to be on like one of the darker pink stand.
The darker pink ones, yeah.
It would look good on a black stand too, because like
black
is very punk.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and this I love the background of it too, because it's like kind of like a really dark purple.
Yeah, it makes it stand out even more.
For sure. Yeah, no. So yeah, that's his latest venture, and that comic looks pretty awesome too. So y'all should definitely go check it out. Bombshelly and the Atomic from Avena Comics,
dude,
on Kickstarter.
It's amazing. Of course, you got your Patreon going.
So yeah, that was one of the part of one of the Patreons I'm doing is I just launched it in December, so it's the first month. But so I have a lot of stuff planned for it. Basically, you're going to be getting a free Whamblem, which are these magnetic emblems. You'll be getting a free one of those each month. Like, that's kind of themed for, you know, kind of whatever I decide to do for that particular month. The first month was just kind of like pick your own. So I have about 400 from like a back catalog that I've created over the last couple of years that people just get to pick 2 from.
That's a catalog.
The what?
That's a great catalog.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I've made quite a lot, man. A lot of people have really requested a lot from me these days, you know, over the last few years. So you get to pick 2 from there. It's either a card stand or like a comic stand. And then like there's also an exclusive material like for the month. So this is not one that I typically offer. I don't know if it really comes up on here, but it's like a marble.
It's kind of like a granite sort of
texture. Yeah, granite, marble, something. Yeah, I think it's like labeled marble or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely more of a granite. But yeah, so that's super cool. But you know, and then just kind of gifts. You know, like one of the things, you know, I have I encapsulate cards as well, so I can do custom cards like slabs. So I'll be, you know, kind of working with artists on like sketch cards and, you know, just kind of doing exclusive art each month and just kind of giving them away as like little gift packages and stuff. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun, and it's just kind of going to be a fun way to explore, you know, kind of all that I do, and then work with people. So like I also doing a Discord. You know, and then that Discord is just you guys are working, you know, with me and the designer that, you know, my partner, so we can kind of, you know, make our back catalog even bigger. So, yeah, man, so it's just been a lot of fun, even just this month. The people that have joined on so far have been pretty awesome, pretty receptive. So I'm definitely looking forward to that throughout this new year for sure.
I can see the Patreon being a double thing too, because as you're showing stuff off, I can see people going, "Ooh, I want to buy this."
Right. So yeah, part of the Patreon as well is if you are part of the Patreon, you do get a discount on, you know, Whamblin. So you will get 2 each month. But then if you wanted more from the back catalog, those would be heavily discounted as well. So, you know,
it pays you to join the Patreon.
You know, I mean, if you're gonna, you know, if you're a fan, really, and you're kind of already going to be getting stuff here and there, it honestly just makes the most sense to do it because you're going to get more bang for your buck. And It's just another way for me to just kind of like just generous and just be generous and just slides, like put some stuff and be like, oh, that'll be fun in everybody's box. Let's just toss that in there, So it'll just be fun to be doing that. So yeah, I mean, if you already have a stand, it really is kind of a no-brainer in my opinion.
No, definitely, because if you already have it, then you're just going to be getting all the extra stuff.
Right. Yeah, and like I'm going to do discounts on products each month, so like maybe like half off for something on like maybe not half off from a spinner rack because that's a little much, but like a heavy discount on a spinner rack or anything like that. So definitely will be beneficial if you're going to do it anyways. But yeah, no, and then like just new products that I'll be coming out with. I have a few new products that I'm thinking about for comics. One of which helps people like take whenever you're taking pictures trying to sell your comics, right? Or maybe put them.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh,
right. It's just kind of a pain.
It is.
You really like it to all the pictures to be uniform. Maybe that's just me. Maybe a little bit of my OCD, but I'd like a lot of the pictures to be uniform. So I'm working on a way to really quickly and just efficiently take pictures easily for like collections or selling or whatever that is just on a table, so not on a stand. It'll just be on the table. The stand will be for the phone. So that's one of the next things I'm working on.
Dude, you sound like you're really thinking about this. You're like, okay, like, well, how can I take it up a notch?
Yeah, it's like you already have like a great thing there, and it's like, how can I make this greater?
Exactly.
Thank you. Yeah, I think also just with my old age, I realized that like I'm good at solving problems that like I'm faced, right? And I'm in the comic world. There's not problems, but like efficiency can be found in a lot of these different avenues, and I would like to find that, like taking pictures or just showing off comics or whatever, it's just definitely something I like solving problems, and a 3D printer is great for me to just kind of like get my idea out quickly and then go from there. And it seems to also help other people. So it seems to work out very really.
I gotta say, like one of the problems I do have is every once in a while I gotta do some pictures of comics. And I gotta be creative to figure out how to do it.
Oh my god, yeah, the light always hits it weird. There's like a weird glare, or like I've tried many a time, and it's like.
So I do make it's a really simple system, but like it's basically just a stand and a phone stand, and I designed them so they're angled at the same kind of just at the same angle, so the phone and the comics sit at the same angle. And it doesn't like, it's just easily, I find it easy to manage the glare, because as long as the stand is always in one spot and the phone is always in one spot, you can put your cameras and your light in a certain area, and then it just it won't always be there. So I think on my website I have it like glare reducing, but I should probably change that to like glare management, because that's more or less what it is. It's not going to reduce any glare, but you're definitely going to be able to manage it a little easier, I think. So
that's all you need, is a way to manage it.
Right. So, but yeah, no, that's also one of it's like I get it. A lot of the people when I first started making stands were like, it's really hard, man. I can't really use it because there's a lot of glare, and I'm just like, all right, man, let me work on it. So, glare is inevitable in a certain sense, but I do my best to think about it when I'm designing.
As somebody who's seen a lot of these con tables, this is like a game changer right here.
Awesome.
That right there, game changer.
The spinner rack.
Oh yeah, because usually your books are just sitting there, and you don't get a view, but now they're up, and people can actually see them as they pass by your table.
And you know what? People love spinning that rack.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, no, I honestly, I find myself sitting there just kind of spinning it from time to time. I'm like, Matt, get to work. Come on, man. What are you doing? Spinning it, changing the magnets. It's fun, So I know I have fun. I know other people are having fun. So
definitely.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I'd just be at my con table just spinning the rack myself, like while it's slow.
Yeah, hey, and I bet you people will come over and be like, "Hey, that's fun. Can I do that?" And then there you go. You spark the conversation.
Like, yeah, buy a comic and you can spin the rack all you want.
There you go. Spin, buy to play, right? Or buy to spin.
Pay to spin.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Here's another use of it. You can actually show off your books. Take them off. Right. Makes life so much easier.
Right, yeah, he's showing off like 10, 15 comics in this one thing, and as opposed to moving them a whole bunch, you just spin it and put them in a little pile.
Yeah. Makes life so much easier, especially instead of holding them and doing that thing.
Right. For sure. Yeah, no, totally. It's it's definitely excuse me. It's been cool to see also just how people are using it, and I get stuck in my own idea creating something. I have a certain idea of how it comes out, but I'll give the first iteration of it to a friend, and they'll just be like, "Well, what about this?" And I'm like, "I didn't even think about that." So, it's been cool, just all the different perspectives that people have, or just the way people use it, or so. That's I think from the jump, I realized that the comic community was just so it's so unique. It's so everybody can have their own style, and every style is celebrated. And it's been super cool, and I'm stoked that I can kind of contribute in some way. So it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it looks like a lot of fun.
For sure. It's true. I mean, sometimes it's stressful, but it's definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, bringing these ideas to life and stuff. It's cool. Yeah, and that's 90 books right there. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can see what it is you can double stack it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the cool. That's the one thing I always also try to do is make things travelable. I guess if that's a word.
Mm-hmm.
So people can take it to their cons and get use out of it, as opposed to just kind of spinning it at home, I guess. But a lot of people just have some really cool setups that I've seen that people some pictures of that they have their spinner racks, and they just have some really cool setups. So it's neat to see.
Because it definitely enhances the table showing, because like I said before, all it would do is just lay there on the table, unless you will figure out a way to put them up.
Yeah, right. And I think also from the jump, I always wanted to do a spinner rack because it's so iconic with comics.
Oh, definitely. Who hasn't wanted to see their books on a spinner rack?
Right. Right. I mean, that is the goal, right? I mean, they're synonymous and everything like that. So, and just to be able to have one, I think, on your tabletop, or next to your desk, or whatever, I think is pretty neat. So I was happy that I was able to kind of bring that idea to life. It's been super fun. Just the fact that there's just a spinner. I honestly, I thought it was crazy that it hadn't existed yet. I mean, it seems like such a simple
I gotta say,
concept, I guess.
Right? I have to agree with you. I'm surprised nobody else has thought of it.
For sure, right?
Thought of it. You know what? I've seen them because years ago I was looking for portable kind of display stuff for comics, and it's a lot of them were just clunky, or they're really heavy. Yeah. So I mean, this is the perfect thing here.
Yeah.
And I think that's also thank you. I think that's also the great thing about 3D printing, right? Is mass producing manufacturing. You have to come up with one design and kind of run with it for a lot of different models or whatever like that. With 3D printing, I can change it from one model to the next, and continuously kind of improve and everything like that. So I think that's definitely an advantage of the 3D printing, and just been able been able to allow me to be able to do that, and it just makes it super fun because you can do these things that is just with all these different colors. Honestly, this is one of my favorite ones. It has so many different I don't know, I think there's a podcast, Comics and Chronic. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one, but there's just so many different everybody's designs, everybody's an artist, so everybody that had done all these different wham and stuff, my back catalog is 400 of some Marvel ones and some indie comics and stuff like that, but I've probably done over 200 custom ones that don't know if people would really want to buy some of these other ones, that people just have for this, like Jets comics or something like that, So it's been making a lot of fun ones for a lot of cool people.
And I like the fact that it's multi-purpose for you. It's not just for comics. I've seen people use things for a whole bunch of different things. Andrew right here is talking about the fact that I'm looking for a heavy-duty one for my D&D and games.
Right.
But your stuff is usable for that stuff.
Right, yeah. I mean, it holds, each one of these little ones holds 3 slabs on the spinner rack. The stands hold, the slabs as well. So yeah, I tried to make it as versatile as possible. Like, I'm actually, one of the things I'm trying to do in 2025 is get into a lot of vinyl record stores.
Ooh, I like that.
So the stands, nice. The stands hold multiple vinyl records, and hold them comfortably. So, and I've done stuff like, now spinning little designs, we just started working on a bunch of like band designs and just musical designs, ones that like, maybe looks like Metallica or something like that, but says now playing,
right.
So you can kind of have your little style. So yeah, that's definitely the next iteration of emblems and stuff you'll be seeing on the Whamstands music, all that kind of genre and stuff. So
I might have to hit you up because my daughter's decided that she wants to go vinyl, which is funny
nice.
to me.
What?
Yeah,
Nice.
she's her favorite artist is Melanie Martinez, and she's been buying all her vinyl. And I'm like, this is
cool.
like a full reverse on myself.
For sure,
Wow.
for sure. Yeah, no, the vinyls are definitely coming back, or have come back. Like they're everywhere now.
I don't trust myself with vinyls.
I've broken enough of them.
Yeah, we've broken records in our day.
That's funny. Excuse me. But yeah, no. So yeah, the there's definitely a big use, and like the card stands, they're great for phones too.
Oh yeah,
so like on your desk if it's So I try to make things as useful as possible. I mean, we all work hard for our money, and want it to be. I enjoy getting as much use out of it as possible, right? Like instead of it just being for one thing, you can use it for a whole bunch of different things. So like you were on an image earlier where somebody was using the new kind of micro stand or whatever for a tech deck.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just it's cool to just. I'm glad that it's as useful as it is. It's a simple thing, right? But like,
I think that's what really sets you up above everybody else who's tried it, is that you've actually found a place where you can actually make it useful for everybody.
Wait, is that a dice holder?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
As our friend Nathan is showing off right here.
Mm-hmm.
He actually made this for Vina Comics for their book Familiar Dungeon.
That is amazing.
Dungeon.
Yeah, that was one of John's ideas that he threw at me. He's like, "Hey man, what about this?" And I was like, "Oh, that sounds great. Let's do it, man." I've done an axe.
Yeah.
And then I'm working on another one. It's I don't know. It reminds me of kind of like Iron Man's like chest piece, but it like holds dice. It's not really like that. It's more like medieval and stuff. But I don't know, just kind of like an emblem or so. But it's pretty cool.
We need a loot.
There goes the axe. Oh my God, yeah, a loot.
What is a lute? I'm not familiar with what a lute is.
Oh, it's like that medieval guitar
musical instrument.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the bard's weapon.
The bard's
Yeah.
weapon. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Nice. That sounds fun.
And Avina here is showing off a lot of the stuff. Dude, I gotta say, I love the little lighted boxes that show off.
Those are fun.
Oh my God. Kind of reminds me of the old days with the movie theaters.
Right. Yeah, no, those are super fun. I I always thought, like, or even just on a strip mall, the lights that are kind of up there. As soon as I started 3D printing, I was like, oh man, this is definitely like a possibility. And then so they're interchangeable. Just how I was saying, I want you to get as most use as you possibly can. And I know also when people do a lot of conventions, they change a lot of the ideas, or maybe you're just changing you know, you have different books, right? Each show you go to, and I wanted it to be as inexpensive as possible to change it, you know, and then also as easy as possible. So, so yeah, those light slides are also interchangeable. And yeah, they remind me of, like, you know, I don't know, slideshows back in class when the teacher had the big thing that like kind of wraps around, you know, like those big disc things, right? I think it'd be fun to like make. Oh, that'd be super. That's a great idea. I should make one of those for the big slides, and it could be like how you like store them or something. I don't know.
Wow.
I think that's another one of the good things is the fact that you can change the emblem in front of it, the whamblem, you know, so easily, because, you know, most times you have to get a whole other setup. You know, we need to have another name. Let's get the other setup.
Right, you know, and that was actually kind of one of the things when I was first working with that store. You know, people would come in as I would have a few models and like, oh man, those are really cool, or you know, I'd make some of the few prototypes and just leave them at the store because he'd use them, and people would also like buy stuff, or while I was in there, they'd give me feedback and they'd be like, well, you know, I don't always want to show off my like Spider-Man, you know, book, or I don't always want to show off my Doctor Doom book or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, all right, well, I mean, then we'll make them interchangeable, right? And that's kind of where Whamstand, the name, came from, and B, like where I started doing the magnets, because I've always kind of very early on wanted to do the magnets, and you know, you slam it on the stand, and it, you know, just that classic comic wham, you know,
exactly.
Yeah, just like old Batman shows, you know, you know,
the best Batman, you know?
Right, exactly. You know, so that was like where Whamstand came from, and kind of always wanted to do the magnets as well with that.
Love it. We you know, we love it here, and I love seeing it everywhere we go. And dude, I'm just impressed.
Thank you so much. I tell you, it's been quite the ride, and you know, I still got a lot more ideas, so stay tuned.
Oh, folks, we're gonna keep bringing him back because he's gonna keep doing stuff, and we like having you on the show. So.
I like being here, so thank you. Sorry I didn't make it last show. Yeah, no, my it's just a conflict of scheduling. So
it happens, believe me. You know, it's the beautiful thing of live TV.
There you go. Right.
So, Heru, I gotta say, I've been impressed by you. I've run into you on the train a couple times.
Yes.
Dude, you hustle.
Nice.
And I'm gonna step aside. I'm gonna let you do your thing. You're gonna tell the people who you are, what you do, all the good stuff. Give them the spiel, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what I was just talking about. Go for it, Heru.
All right. So I'm an author. Actually, I started off doing spoken word poetry, and I was on Def Poetry Jam years ago.
Nice.
And I wrote my first book. It was called A Hip Hop Story, and like what I'm doing now, I was selling it on the subways, and then the director of publishing for MTV Books saw me, and he bought a copy, he read it, he loved it, and then it was republished as an MTV book back in the day. Nice. And I got a lot of press from that, and I ended up on in the New York Times, and that press led me into being able to be a part of a play that went to Broadway. And yeah, so, you know, I've done a lot of stuff, you know, little ups and downs in the career and everything. And then I started, you know, self-publishing my books again, because, you know, the whole publishing industry right now is just, it's like in a very weird state. Like they're mostly just really putting out celebrity books. Yeah. And so it's really, really difficult if you're doing your own thing to really get through there. You know what I mean? So you know, I just went back straight to the subways and to the people, and I've been doing it for a few years now. I had my book, Show Me a Beautiful Woman, and that did very well. And then I had another book called Somewhere in Brooklyn. It's about a father who kidnaps a cop who killed his son.
Wow.
And the book that I've mostly been selling recently is called Children of the Sun, which is the one that you've probably seen me selling on the trains. And I have a new one out called Confidence is the New Crack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what is Children of the Sun? Because I've heard your spiel on the train. Go ahead, give the public the spiel. Go for it.
All right. So it's about 3 kids who travel through time, going from one ancient civilization to the next in search of 13 mythical artifacts, which they need in order to stop the Egyptian god of chaos and prevent the end of the world. They'll go to ancient Mexico during the time of the Olmecs. They'll go to medieval Mali during the time of the richest man who ever lived, Mansa Musa. They'll face off against dark angels, dragons, and giants, and much more.
And folks, you're sitting on the train. You hear this, you're like, "What? What am I listening to on the train?" It's not exactly what you're expecting to hear. And I gotta say, I've seen you, and you get people's attention, and I've seen them buy a couple of books off of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I would if I was sitting on a train and somebody was telling me that story. I'd be like, "All right, man, like let's go." Like that sounds like a great story to me.
Yeah, the trains can be tricky, I mean, because there's people's attentions are so divided, a lot of people's heads are in their phones and stuff, and there's just a lot of craziness going on the subways anyway, and so it's the fact that you can draw their attention and get it for any bit of time is well, yeah, it's a challenge, yeah.
And the confidence is the new crack. What's this book about?
Well, it's kind of about life coaching. So it's about a life coach who goes from being homeless into becoming an international crypto mogul. But then she gets caught up in a conspiracy involving the Chinese government and a Colombian drug cartel. So it's about coaching, scamming, crypto, money laundering, and drug cartels. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty wild.
It sounds pretty interesting.
That went from like 0 to 60. That's amazing.
Yeah. I was like, damn, woo.
It's like, yeah, life coach, all right. I can. Oh my God, crypto scamming.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, crypto scamming, that's like the main big thing right now, and that's how a lot of money laundering is happening, especially with drug cartels and so on. So that's a major thing.
Dude, your covers are amazing.
Thank you.
I know it's different people who are doing it. Who's the artist for this one?
It's the same artist for both Children of the Sun and Confidence.
Oh, it is. Okay. So
yeah, so with Children of the Sun, I drew it. With Children of the Sun, I drew the pencils, and then my friend Mishindu Aikawumba, he painted it, and so he's the one that made it nice. And then with Confidence is the New Crack, I gave him the idea and the concept of what I wanted. And then I did a rough drawing too, but then he kind of like did his own thing and he went with it, and so that one is more his.
Dude, it really stands out, and when you need on a book is a good cover.
Thank you.
Because that's the first time we see something is the cover. You go, ooh, what's this?
Always judge a book by its cover.
Always.
And there he is on the trains doing his thing. Dude, I gotta say, have you hit the conventions?
You mean like the comic conventions? I've heard people say that, but I don't know, because it's a novel. It's not a graphic novel, and I've thought about turning, especially Children of the Sun, into a graphic novel, but I haven't done it because it'll be very expensive to do, right. Especially doing it the way I want to do it. Because drawing was my first love, and I've always hated when you buy a book, the cover is dope, and then the interior is crap.
We talk about this in the show a lot.
We always complain about that.
Yeah, and so I want the interiors to look as great as the covers look. You know what I'm saying? And to do it to the level that I want, I know that it's going to cost a lot of money and it will take a lot of time. So if I ever got the time to be able to sit down and just be able to do it, where I can then draw and pencil it out, and then my boy can paint it over it, then that would be great. But even if I'm just doing it myself and then having him do it, it's going to cost thousands of dollars to do it to the level I want to do it anyway. So, but to answer your question about going to the conventions, I haven't done it because it's not a graphic novel, it's a novel, and so I don't know how I would fit in there.
I gotta tell you, you're feeling fine.
I wish Frank was here to talk about it, because Frank sells prose novels at Comic Cons all the time, and he's had a lot of success.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with your hustle, because at a con, what you need is that type of hustle that you have. Because you have this audience on the train, and you're trying to make it happen. Here's a convention with these people who are there for the specific reason of buying this stuff. So I think you do
It
fantastic.
should be an easier sell, actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely easier than the train. I can't imagine trying to sell my comics.
Actually, I think it might be actually harder. You know, I'll be honest with you. I think it might be harder only because on the trains, I'm not competing with anybody else. And at the cons, I'm competing with everybody else who has their product, you know? And so it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, all right, so, and like, because with conventions, it's all about where you're positioned also, right? Like
Yep.
where your table is.
Yeah.
Because if you're positioned in like some boondock place where there's no traffic, you're going to have a hard time selling anything.
Oh, you are. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
And so
it's hard to tell. Depends what con you're at. I mean, if you come in there with confidence, people tend to walk around them to see new people. And if you've got a new face with something interesting, I think, you know, it's kind of arbitrary where you're placed sometimes.
Okay.
I don't know. I've been put in some pretty bad areas in conventions.
I had people literally looking for me at LA Comic Con, and I was in such a bad place that they couldn't find me.
I had my booth behind a pillar one time.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was just
My
awful.
gosh.
Exactly.
And they wouldn't even give me like a partial refund or anything. They're just like, nope, this is where you are. I'm like, okay, well, F you guys too.
Right.
Not going with a bad day at a con's better than a good day most places attitude, huh?
I mean, it still was a good. Yeah, no, I still wouldn't complain. It was still a good day. I had. It was interesting actually. I had more magnet collectors than comic collectors. My personal experience. But,
Interesting.
so I learned a lot at the end of the day. So like.
Yeah, because that's not the audience you were going for, and look at this
No.
audience looking at you. Yeah.
But it was. I got a lot of insight, so it was cool.
So
I just meant like the comic community, man. They're very accepting and welcoming.
For sure.
I really think you shouldn't be worried about going in there necessarily competing with people. I mean, even if you just try a medium-sized local show, you never know.
You'd also be surprised how many creators buy from you, because when they get downtime and start walking around, like everyone's looking to buy like indie comics and like books and stuff from everybody else.
Okay.
And the house you have for this book is just down the alley of a lot of us geeks.
I mean,
And they're willing
you
to
said
spend
Frank.
money.
I mean, he's blown up, you know.
Yeah, yeah, Frank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank is doing really well, and he's an author. He's a complete author. And I think another thing we're trying to tell you, Hero, is that I feel like because of your hustle, most people what they do is they'll sit at their table and go
right.
Or just be like face down in the sketchbook, just drawing, not looking at anybody. I've been there.
I can't see you doing that. I can see you standing there going, "Check out my book."
Yeah, like stopping.
No, I'll actually. I'd be walking around.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Like if they put me if you give me a table, once I have that badge, I'm gonna be walking around the whole place, and I'll be like interacting with people directly. Yeah.
See, that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't sit at the table and just wait. I'd be all over the place. Like you might give me a table in the boondocks, and then I'll be in I'll be walking around to a better location. You know.
Oh my god, he'd be like the Pied Piper with like a bunch of people following him back to the table.
There you go. You can bring the party to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, and Shadow here snuck in on us. Hey Shadow, how you doing? It's great seeing you.
What's up, guys? Miss y'all. Sorry, I'm usually creeping in the shadows, but I wanted to say happy whatever holiday you're celebrating, and Merry Christmas, and I appreciate you guys, and hope you're all well.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate you, Shadow. So Heru, I gotta say, again, you really as you can tell, you impressed me.
Thank you.
I was just sitting there minding my own business, and you came in, and it wasn't like oh my god, here's some guy doing whatever. No, you actually caught my attention. Which is what caught my attention was that you came in, you did your spiel, and I was like, oh dude, that's why I was like, as soon as I was getting off the train, I'm like, dude, we gotta talk. I gotta get you on the show.
Okay. How many times have you seen me? Was it like 2 times, maybe 3?
Oh no, I've seen you about 4 or 5 times now.
4 or 5 times, yeah. Which train usually?
A couple of times I couldn't talk to you because you were already in conversation.
Yeah. Which train usually? Which train?
I think the C train.
The C train? Okay.
Usually.
Yeah. Is it is it going uptown or downtown? Like around what stops?
Yeah, it's usually uptown.
Uptown.
Yeah, it's up there next to 59th Street. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's usually probably on a Thursday. I'm seeing you, right?
Probably. I
Yeah,
lose track of time.
that's when I'm
I'm
working at C Train. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you've had this career. I like the fact of what you're doing. And again, you know, you're right up the alley. We discuss this all the time here. Indie is hard for indies. It's hard to do what you're doing, you know, and get any type of traction out there. You know,
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I'll say this, you know, like a lot of people will say, like, you know, put your books in bookstores and stuff like that. And you know, like with my first book, A Hip Hop Story, you know, I had a deal with Simon and Schuster, and it was in bookstores, it was in Barnes and Nobles and everything. And I actually sold more of that book on my own. And so what I learned is that just because you're in bookstores doesn't mean that you're selling, you know. And especially now, especially like if you're, you know, you're big and you're geek, and the major, like all majors can really do for you is publicity and promotion, because everything else you can do yourself, you know. And if they're giving you a deal and they're not giving you any promotion, they're not really doing anything for you, because they're just taking the majority of the royalties, right? And they're giving you pittance. And then there's a lot of writers who actually have to buy their books from the publishers to then be able to then go sell it at cons or conventions or whatever, which is just crazy. Yeah, that's just like insane that you have to then go buy your product from them, right? To then sell it, you know. And so if they're not promoting you, they're really not doing much for you. And, you know, I've also put like my books in indie bookstores. But the thing is that, like, if you're not on that front table when people come in, there's really makes no sense, because then they're going to put your book in the back in alphabetical order. And then who's going to find it? You know, who's really going to find it that way? You know what I'm saying? So you're going to end up promoting the bookstore. You're going to do more for the bookstore than the bookstore is going to do for you, because you're going to have to promote it to your people that my book is in this bookstore, to please go to this bookstore to go buy my book. Whereas you can, if that's the case, you can just say, hey, buy my book from me directly or buy my book from Amazon.
Exactly.
Yep. And it's interesting that you bring up promotion, because a lot of like indie comics publishers and stuff, like they will publish your book, but you still have to do the legwork. You still have to call the stores to be like, hey, can you know, will you take my book or whatever? So like, what are they really doing aside from giving you like a couple of cents per book?
Exactly. So, you know, I do. Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Oh yeah, I've heard lots of people who were published by publishers saying that like they would have made a lot more money had they just, you know, self-published and, you know, sold directly from the basement or whatever, because it's like, I mean, you might get like $200 or something for a run of like your first issue. And if you do that on Kickstarter and you raise like $2,000, let's say, you know, it's like a thousand for like printing and shipping and whatever, you're still coming away with like 5 times more than what the publisher would have gave you.
Yes. And it's like I said, you know, my first book, I did better on my own than I did with MTV, which is kind of crazy, you think, right?
Yeah.
No,
But,
I know too much to think otherwise.
yeah, exactly. So I thought, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're not getting that level of promotion, it's really not doing then, you know. And especially now, wherein you can literally do everything yourself. You know, you can manufacture it yourself, you can, you know, put it out yourself, you can distribute it yourself. The only difference that they can give you is the promotion and the marketing, and they don't do that for everybody. You know, they're only doing it if they think for sure that it's going to be a guaranteed big hit, and that's the only time that they're doing that for you.
Or they'll do it for like a month while you're new, and then that's it. Like if it's like a comic series or whatever, like they'll promote your first issue, and then when issue 2 comes out, it's like dead silence. Then you have to do everything yourself.
Yeah, but Steve, it's funny. I like the fact that you're saying that, because I feel like a lot of authors, you know, so as soon as their book is whatever, they feel like their job is done. I'm like, no, you still got to sell your book. I don't care how successful the book is out there. You still got to sell that book if you want it to go anywhere.
Yeah, no one will promote your book harder than you.
Exactly. And listen, don't write it if you don't know how to sell it. Seriously, it don't make sense to make it and publish it and just have it stay in your basement in boxes.
Yep.
It's not doing nothing for you. So unless you have a plan and how you're going to sell it, don't even bother going out there and writing it. And then, you sell a few to your friends and your family, and then you get mad that your friends and not enough of your friends and family are buying your product. And like, I'll say this to everybody. It's like, people always like, my friends and family don't support me. It's like, listen, my friends and family don't support me either. You're not going to get anywhere if you're depending on your friends and family to support you. You're going to have to get other people. So don't stop getting mad that your friends and family are not supporting you.
They're not your customer base. They're not your target audience.
Exactly.
A lot of people, they get salty. Again, going to the comics world and like single issues and stuff in like an ongoing series. Like, people will put out their first issue, say on like Kickstarter, and they have like all their aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff like pitching in, and they have a great Kickstarter. They put out issue 2. The family suddenly isn't there because they're like, we supported you already. Like, we can't keep doing this. And then they're just like, they get really pissed.
Yeah, exactly. It's because like nobody who's made it has made it off of their family alone. You're going to have to get other people to get into what you're doing.
Right.
So this whole thing about getting upset that your family isn't supporting you is just like, that's not how it works.
Sorry to cut you up, but like I have such strong feelings about this too, because like, yes, your family will buy your book, but they will not read it. They will not talk about it. Like, it's just gonna sit there on a shelf, or they'll donate it. So like, okay, cool, you made a sale to your mom, but like, that's it.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a dead end.
And I'm happy that you said that too, because I tell people always ask me, why haven't you published? I'm like, dude, that's a whole other freaking job. If I start going to that whole publishing aspect of things, that means that I have to like dedicate all this time to that aspect of things.
You will spend more time trying to market than you will actually writing. Like, it is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, sooner or later it'll happen, but I am not going to go look for it. I'll be one of those dead authors, and they can handle all that shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, marketing is the whole thing, man. That's the puzzle. That's the puzzle to figure out. Writing that's easy.
Making the book is easy.
Yeah, making the book is like, it's a labor of love. But if you're a creative person, that's the easy part. That's what you love. Exactly. It's the next part that's the challenge.
That's why anytime I see somebody hustle like you do, I'm like, I gotta get them on the show. I gotta show off their stuff. People, go check this stuff out, people. That's what I'm telling you. And I put it there in the comment section. That way nobody goes, wow, I don't want to go look for the link. There it is in the comment section. Amazon, Children of the Sun. Dude, go check this out. If his pitch didn't sell you, you guys got a problem.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
No problem here. Cliff.
Ralph.
That was a perfect response.
It was.
What else could I say?
So Cliff,
there's so much to pick up on that conversation, but let's just ease in organically.
I'm surprised that you didn't jump into half that stuff.
Well, I was saving my breath, but no, a lot of it is certainly resonating in terms of what he said, especially because, like we were talking now, I'm under contract.
Yep.
Not for Cupid's Farewell Christmas and Mrs. Claus Tells All, because that's, like we were saying, I'd like to get back into tables with those. But I'm fortunate. I've found this sort of this miraculous story. But there we go. That's the ho 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 stuff.
ho 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 ho. So go ahead, give them the spiel, Cliff. Why don't you tell all the good
of the Christmas books, or just picking up on the other conversation?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Whichever direction you want to go with, because we're going to talk about it all.
we are, and you might have to shut me up, right? No, just to kind of pick up, because I am not for these books, but for I'm contracted for a book series right now, and I'm fortunate. It's an indie publisher, but one of the things, he really interviewed me hard, and a lot of things that Heru was saying, the ball is in my court in terms of marketing it, and he wanted to make sure that he wasn't sort of taking on an author who was just going to like expect the book to sell. And he was pretty serious about that. We had a lot of conversations about it. And the ironic thing is I met him in the subway.
A lot of good things happening on the train. I feel like I'm missing out by not taking the train enough.
Well, I could tell this story, and especially because my son's here. I met him. My son Blake and I were at a baseball game, at a Yankee game, and he caught a foul ball. He's right here next to me. Come here, sir. And I'm not going to, he got a foul ball. He went on the train going back home. And Blake is all very happy. And he says, hey, I was at my first Yankee game and I got a ball. And we saw these two people on the train. And the woman's like, hey, yeah, I was at my first Yankee game too. And I got a ball also. And so they became fast friends. But it turns out her husband is now my publisher. And his name is Blake also.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the really condensed story of it. But my uncle, who's a math genius, he's like, even I couldn't figure out the odds of that one.
Oh, the world is a small place, people. The world
it still astounds me, that whole story. Especially because with like he got the foul ball, like we're on the handicapped area,
right?
And as soon as he got the ball, some guy comes back in a wheelchair. He's like, I've been coming to Yankee Stadium for 20 years and sitting in these seats, and a foul ball has never even come up here. You guys are here for 5 minutes because we were like eating ice cream there. He's going to tell the rest of the story.
Like, if I didn't get the ice cream, like I technically would have gotten the ball because like we were going to leave. But that's like, you sure about ice cream? Because like it's cold.
It was cold out. It was May.
Yeah, like what was it? It was like 30-something degrees.
Yeah, we're freezing our asses off Yankee Stadium in May, and
was it that?
It was pretty cold.
But for me, it wasn't, because today it felt like today for me it was warm.
Well, yeah, it was definitely warmer than today.
I know.
But yeah, so this guy was just it was.
Yeah, and then like the train, like. I was just.
Oh, he's going to tell the story, and then we'll talk Christmas.
It's nervous, like it's like how it's like. What are the odds, like of getting like that, like meeting someone with their same name?
Yeah, the publisher's name is Blake too.
Exactly.
So that was definitely pretty amazing, and yeah, I think he's redoing my first book, but he wanted to do a series, an older book that I put out maybe 10 years ago. And he wanted to do a series. So now I'm like busy on the second book. And he's always just like, second book. And like I was telling you, Ralph, when we were warming up our voices before the show, I sort of made it past the reef, to use the Moana metaphor. I'm like out and sailing now, and it's working. But to get over that first hump, and I think Heru can probably attest to that too. When you first start a book and you're just kind of struggling, and then you finally kind of get out into the open water and the currents are taking you, and it's it's a good thing. But yeah, so this whole project kind of feels kind of magical in a lot of ways. That one. But let's talk Christmas now, because that's really what we're here for.
Well, it's Christmas. You might as well talk Christmas.
Well, I think last year, I mean, we do this a lot, and I even come on, Christmas in July.
Oh, I love doing that one.
Yeah. Because what's better than Christmas in July, right? But this is the first year that they're both out together.
That's right. It is the first year. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because I think maybe last year the reissued Cupid, was like kind of just getting done, and it's a lot different. And Ralph, you have one now.
Yeah.
Can you tell the differences?
No.
You couldn't.
No. It's smaller and better, but that to me that's like I guess you're asking the wrong person, only because to me it's a difference of, okay, I can hold this in the hand better. It opens up better. It looks better. But as someone who doesn't buy books for that type of difference, I'm not the one to ask.
All right. Well, what we did, we kind of repurposed a couple of Mrs. Claus illustrations in this one.
Yeah,
because there was a few things I didn't really like. I think that like the original edition, Santa was, I think he was a little too inside his head. And I think the main, you know, obviously like the first page with Santa sitting with his shotgun is kind of memorable, you know. But then the second page, he was just sort of like thinking, he was smoking a cigar. But now the new one, he's actually talking about getting held up by somebody with a rifle popping out of a chimney. So that's sort of like a major change. And then there's other things too. We sort of streamlined some of the jokes. I wish I could show them to you, but you know, we put a few things back in because somebody was handling it for a while.
right.
It's kind of gone through, you know, this agent was handling them for a while, and
I remember her.
yeah, I mean, she was good, but I don't know. We kind of wanted to get back to like our roots on it, so to speak.
I think she was good, but I felt like she was trying to like control how it comes out, how it is.
Yeah, she maybe wanted to sanitize a little bit. You know, it's like, so we put some of the, like, I didn't want to go for it to be too crude, because I think like some of those like when we first, which we met you at New York Con, or was it
New York Comic Con? Yeah,
because I think that there was one that we did earlier, and we kind of did it on a whim.
At the racing track, right?
No, this is way before that. I think it was the one in the Meadowlands. There's like the Meadowlands Convention Center, or in Sea Caucus.
Oh wow!
I think it was before, like it was like in black and white, and we're just like, oh, let's just do it, you know. And we kind of did it, and people liked it, but it was rough and raw. It was like in black and white, and it was just like pencil sketches. It was just like, what the hell?
When I met you were starting to get the process going to put it in color.
So this was like even before the one. I don't even think I would have taken that original one to New York Comic Con. I mean, this is like a little con in the Meadowlands, and we did it on a whim.
Was it East Coast Comic Con?
East Coast Comic Con. That's exactly.
I'm trying to remember what Comic Con.
I remember East Coast Comic Con.
Yeah, it was that one, and it was fun, but people reacted to it, so it was like, okay, we got something. Let's take it further, and then he redid it. He like the black and white drawings that we did at the first New York Comic Con when we met you guys.
Yeah,
like it was in shape as a pencil drawn book.
Yeah, because you guys had just redone the book so that the black and white looked better.
That's exactly it. Because at East Coast Comic Con, it was just like this sketchy thing, and we were just like, okay, let's just do this. And then when we first met you, and then I think we did the Kickstarter to make it color right after that, and then it was colorized. But then the agent got involved. So, and then also it was like kind of COVID time. So we sort of lost a lot of traction on it. And that was the other thing. She loved Mrs. Claus. She was like, you know, I like Cupid's Roller Coaster, but I love Mrs. Claus. So she was kind of about that one a little bit. I
remember that. Yeah. She kept trying to push Mrs. Claus.
Yeah. She really liked that one. So, but like I was saying, it's hard to kind of cut through in Christmas, and I think these books sell when people have them in their hands. It's not really an Amazon book, and it's a book, but it's sort of not a book, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And maybe Heru kind of gets this. It belongs in a place like, you know, Spencer's. Like a gift shop.
Okay.
It belongs in a place where people are making jokes more than a bookstore. When people hold it and flip through it, and you know, it takes 5 minutes to read.
I gotta say, it makes a good presence at places like New York Comic Con and, you know, WinterCon, especially when you have people like Nick hanging out.
Oh God, Nick Claus was the best.
Nick Claus is fantastic.
Yeah, he got married. I think he speaking of Santas that retire, I think Nick Claus retired. I mean, that's like I was saying, I'm like super busy now, but really if I, you know, could focus on like marketing this the right way, it would really belong. Like I'd get to do tables, but get into gift shops and things like this, because that's really where it belongs. It's that kind of thing. And you know, Matt, your stands, I think it look great on your stands.
Oh yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah, like I was thinking about it while you're showing these stands. I'm like even with like the logo, can we show put that back up, Ralph? The
I got you.
make those little.
Oh yeah, no, I was looking at those. I was like, oh, okay, I could turn those into
definitely.
wham.
Oh yeah, totally. Like you could totally do it. So so we were thinking about the exact same thing.
Cool.
While this is going, because yeah. So one of these days we'll do cons again. We can get Sunny, because we would have all sorts of fun at those. At
Oh
the
my
tables
god,
also.
yeah, it was a blast.
And then our array of weird Santas that would come around. We had Nick Claus. Who?
Oh, you had Nick Claus. You had the other Santa that actually had the shotgun.
Exactly. But Nick Claus, his whole thing, he would go around and he'd ask people how they got on the naughty list.
Exactly.
He was asking, girls, and something about that, sort of the magical powers of Nick Claus, was that
definitely.
they would tell him how they got on the naughty list. So
definitely.
That was always a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, he was in a Santa sports type jacket. He looked all debonair, and
he's a personal trainer. He's like the anti-Santa. But he's got this massive personality, and he just sort of ate it up.
You know what though? You got to be jacked to be able to carry all of those presents.
Have you seen the
true.
That he's showing? He looks like this now.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it worked on him. It's funny. I was, because I teach, and I was showing, I have this weird little teaching job now, and one of my colleagues said, "Hey, can you just show them a Christmas movie today?" It was like the last day of classes. I work with teen mothers and about to be mothers. I teach them English and writing, and so there's only like 2 students there today, and we watched the Christmas Chronicles. I put them on, and they have that they sort of have that whole thing with the millions of presents and all wrapped, and like the magic of that. And it kind of reminded me of Mrs. Claus on that one page where she talks about, we had already had like 750 million toys wrapped and ready for the sled, and like there's the whole assembly line, and Santa with the magic kind of putting them all in the bag. And so the Christmas Chronicles kind of reminded me of that moment in Mrs. Claus too, which was kind of neat. But they did that really well. It's a good movie.
Yeah, the Chronicles is pretty good.
Yeah, it was. And Kurt Russell as Santa, boy, he was just great.
See, that's what I see. They keep going in that direction now with Santa. Santa seems a little more buff now.
Yeah, it's that was great casting. So.
Look at a red one that just came out.
Exactly, red one.
Good example right there. Yep.
Yeah. Or buff Santa.
More buff Santa, yeah. And then there's a commercial on TV, and the Santa looks like all freaking a millennial. He has the beard all shaped. He looks good. He has and I'm like, damn, Santa look better than me.
Like a barista.
And that's like one of the Santa in Chronicles joke. He's like, look what they make me. I don't got a big fat ass like that. It's really funny.
Oh my God, folks. Yeah, I love Christmas.
Am I in trouble? Am I in trouble now?
I don't know. I cursed a while ago.
That's only 3 letters, not 4 letters, right?
I cursed a while ago.
I like that loophole.
That's right. Okay.
So anytime I don't curse, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I didn't. No, but I cursed a while. First person to break the rule, always, usually, at least.
We can't. You know who will curse? This one right here.
Oh man.
You gotta learn it from somewhere.
Exactly.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Exactly.
You know what? He's sitting here reading while I'm on the show, and he was just reading "Go the F to Sleep."
So that's a good book.
I love
It
that
is a good
book.
book.
That's a great book.
It is.
Have you ever heard LeVar Burton read it?
Yeah.
or Samuel L. Jackson reading it
Well,
too.
Samuel L. Jackson, you would expect it, but LeVar
That's the
Burton.
voice in your head already, yeah. LeVar was funny because you
He
wouldn't
was good.
expect half the words that came out of his mouth.
I actually know Adam, or I didn't really know him, but I knew him way back. We were in graduate school together, and he was always a character. When he did his thesis reading, because his first novel was about a jazz musician,
Right.
So he did his thesis reading, and he brought in a jazz quartet and
Wow.
read with the jazz quartet behind him.
That's
so
the way
he
to
was,
do it.
yeah. So he was always pretty inventive and imaginative, in his presentation. And then that came out, and I look at the author, I'm like, holy shit! And it doesn't surprise me that it was him that did that book.
It's a great book.
Mhm.
I want to read it to certain kids, but go to sleep.
We've all been there, right, Ralph?
Oh, we've been there.
I tell that to myself. I would just read it to myself every night because falling asleep is hard.
Oh, I definitely will read it to myself. So, I'm barely ever asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph will message me at like 3 a.m, like, "Oh, hey, here's this cool thing." And, like, I won't see it till the next day.
I don't expect you to get it to the next day.
I
I'm like,
appreciate that.
it's a placeholder. I'm like, okay, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna see this, you're gonna have fun.
I appreciate it.
I tell people all the
My son
time,
on the
if I'm
stroller
texting you,
right
if I'm
now.
sending you something, I don't expect you to answer.
Because you're a reasonable person. Other people be like, "You ghosting me? I sent this to you 7 hours ago." Like, bro, I was asleep like a normal person.
All right, you guys, I gotta sign off. And
It was great having you one more
it was
time.
great, man. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Good to meet you, man. Best
So
of
it
luck
was a
with
pleasure.
everything.
It was a pleasure. Best of luck to all of you guys, and happy holidays.
Before you
holidays to
go, let the people
Yeah.
know where you can find you. Give them all the spots they can go.
Okay, so primarily you can find me on Instagram. So it's at Eye of Heru. That's EYEOFHERU. That's EYEOFHERU. So you just go to my Instagram, then you can link my bio, and you can find everything else about me.
And if you don't run into him on a train and buy the book directly from him, you should go check him out on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon as well. Yeah.
Heru, it was great having you on.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Come on and geek out with the rest of us. You're more than welcome to.
I appreciate it. It was fun. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Happy holidays.
To you too.
Happy holidays, you too.
All right, bye-bye.
And then there were 6.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun.
I gotta say, Cliff, I'm happy that you are going in a new direction, but you're also trying to fix. I know that you're trying to do something with Cupid and try to get it into a certain place, but I guess all of this will fall into its own place when it falls into its own place. It's just it is the way it is.
I think you're right, Ralph. It's so. I was just copying Heru's. I took a screenshot of his info while you were talking.
That's easy.
Yeah,
I can just stick it into the private chat and you guys can use it. Hold on.
Okay.
You can talk. Go ahead.
Okay. No, like I was saying before, it's I'm going to convert all of that. I'm going to promote myself as myself rather than as the books, and that's sort of my 2025 project. And a lot of people have told me that it's time to do that, and so I'll be doing that.
Well, like I said in the green room, actually, you're in a different place now. You're more about Clifford Evan. Before it was more about Cupid's Last Christmas, but this, you've taken a whole different direction, so it makes more sense for you to go in that direction, and that way people can find you there.
Yeah, and I have a lot of different projects, and it's the one that I was talking about the last time I was on, and I have this book series, and there's the film stuff, and even the one Mata that I had reached out to you about, and then sort of dropped the ball on, for which I somewhat apologize. Life is. We will revisit that at some point. I know that Sonny's always asking me about it, but as we've said. But yeah, that's another one that I would like to get up and running, and then it would fall under my umbrella.
It all comes together, yeah.
Exactly. So it's funny. I'm supposed to get a surgery, and I was joking with this guy. I was talking to this guy online, just a meeting, and I was like, I want to get the surgery because so I can get 3 weeks off and just do all this stuff that I need to do. Take the time off work because. I'm not going to be I'll be in pain for 2 days, but then I'll have 19 to do the stuff I don't have time to do.
That's exactly what I would do. That would be my exact same line of thinking where it's
Same here.
all right.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, come and cut a hole in me so I can have 3 weeks off and do what I need to do. It's like,
and people are checking in, and you're like, oh yeah, oh still in pain. Oh god, oh let me just write 1,000 more words here.
Yeah, let me write the surgeon, get another week.
Sometimes what you need to do.
Whatever.
Hopefully, whatever it takes. Exactly, Mata.
Yeah, folks. That sometimes we're so busy that a moment to ourselves is luxury.
And 3 weeks? That sounds like a little bit of paradise. Yeah. So
also, along the same line of thought, since I'm self-employed and I work for myself or whatever, and I set my own hours, it means I'm always working. So when I get sick, I get a cold or something, I'm like, maybe I'll just sleep for 2 days. Yeah, I have an excuse now.
Yeah, this is the first time I've had a real job. I worked at universities and colleges for years and years, but that's you work 8 months a year, 9 months a year, and it's
right.
And when you have other obligations, it doesn't quite cut it. So then I took this job, and it's interesting, but I work for the state of New Jersey. I'm a state employee right now, which is really strange.
The benefits have got to be good though, right?
Yeah, except I didn't take any of them. So my wife works at a hospital, so she's got the best health care.
Okay.
Around. Yeah. So it's good, but I can you can take an hour off here or 2 hours off there, and there's those kind of things are good. And as far I'm not going to get on any sort of real soapbox, but boy, the educational system is a weird place, and what I'm doing, it's the Frankenstein's monster of education. It's just sewing it together, and because the population, it's a very different population. It's the aim is to get them back into regular school.
Right.
Yeah. So it's definitely kind of odd.
It sounds like something also fairly new, I guess. So they haven't quite figured out how it works.
Maybe. I think it's been around for a while, but again, it's weird. In my little school, it's good, and there's only 4 students, and I teach some remote classes to other places around the state, and it's weird. There's the people way above, there's my director, who's really awesome, and then there's 3 people, and then the governor. But those 3 people and the governor, they don't know what's going on in our school. They have no clue.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's peak governor behavior.
Yeah, exactly. And then my director's always joking with me. She's like, make sure you use your administrative time. I'm like, yeah, or else it's going to go back to Phil Murphy. Yeah, he doesn't. So yeah, it's kind of weird. So it's the first time I've had a job like this, and I have this little core group of students who are really kind of amazing. They're mothers, they're young, and they're mothers, and they're coming to school, and they bring their babies to school, and
wow.
Yeah, it's really kind of, it's interesting. And that this little group I'm sort of invested in, and then we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I take they I know all their babies.
Oh.
There's a nursery in the school. It's and, it's unique, to say the least.
It's very necessary though. It's a program to have to kind of I don't want to say rehabilitate, but I guess just prepare young mothers to go back to society. And
yeah, and one of the girls is 15.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's but for her, she does actually that one. She doesn't bring her baby to school. She has once, but her mother takes care of it all the time. But the other girls, they bring their babies to school every day, and then they're called out. They have to go down to the nursery, and just something's going on, or whatever the case is. It's definitely nothing that I ever would have expected. But here I am for now.
Well, life, the journey is just an interesting thing that we don't know anything about.
Life can be weird.
Not a clue.
Yeah, our paths are unique.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So, as my friend would say, we're all where we're meant to be right now. So I'll just
right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're exactly where we're supposed to be, and if your story with the Blakes, it just says something. That's exactly what it says.
Well, for sure, man. And that was a day, like I'm telling you, like I only like gave a synopsis of that story. That was one of the most remarkable days of my whole life. Because there's a lot more things like to it, but for our purposes, that the baseball and Blake and him being a publisher and the other, I mean, we'll start talking and because I have a story called Blakey Fixes the Moon, and he's got a story about a guy named Blake going on the moon to save it from robots.
Even more coincidence.
Yeah, it's like so.
See, I tell people all the time, life is this small little circle. Be careful who you're mean to. Be careful who you talk to, because it all affects everything.
Yeah, my aunt, she's this is my great aunt, my grandmother's sister. She always, she died, I think, about 12 years ago. Yeah, in 13 she died, but she was sort of this wise woman and had a lot of interesting to say. And she used to say, treat everyone that you meet like they might give you $1 million. And I think there's you could do worse than treating people that way, I think.
Right.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Same people you see going up are the same people you see coming down.
To quote Ralph Cramden, right? I think it was Ralph Cramden who said that, right?
To the moon. Oh,
to the moon.
Yeah, he said that too a lot.
Oh man! So, folks, you guys really do got to check out Cliff and his amazing little project of Cupid's Farewell Christmas. It is a beautiful experience. It is,
and Mrs. Claus tells
fairy
all.
Tale. Yeah, of course, Mrs. Claus tells all.
Because Mrs. Claus,
you're still working on the third part of that, which is elves, right?
The elves strike back. Which one day, at some point in my lifetime will be done. When that is, I don't know. But
I admire the dedication to reworking these stories like over and over until they're something that like you can really stand behind. Because a lot of people are like, oh no, you just do one thing and then you move on to another. But sometimes it eats at you. Sometimes you're like, no, this is not where it should be. I know it can be better. I know that it's not like the truest version of what it should be. So like,
yeah, there was definitely, and there was, especially with Cupid, there was always a few things that like nagged me, and I was just like, Sonny, we gotta like fix these things. And one of the things about it that I always felt really strongly about, I wanted them to age right, to endure, and I didn't want to have things in it that wouldn't hold up, and I think they do that, and I'm proud of that. Especially, I mean, I think they're fun stories and they're funny. And I always think about like the interview with Trey Parker and Matt Stone on 60 Minutes. I don't know if people saw that. That's the South Park guys, and they kind of describe their work. I think it was the interviewer. I forgot who did the interview from 60 Minutes, but he said, sharp blade, big heart, and if I can aspire to that with these books, because they sort of eviscerate Christmas a little bit, but at the end they're Christmas stories. They have big heart at the end.
They do, but like you're saying right now, like I was actually rereading it because I found it because I've been fixing the set back here, and it's a Christmas story. It's a complete Christmas story. The whole thing just has the Christmas heart to it.
Exactly, and thank you. That's like the biggest compliment. But Santa, I mean, why does he want to retire? Because they've ruined his holiday.
Yeah.
Basically, and Cupid especially isn't kind to what Christmas has become in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But then once Santa realizes in both books what Christmas is really about and why he does it and why he needs to continue to be Santa, then it makes sense, because it's really about the heart.
Yeah.
And
which we all forget about all the time.
Exactly. And so, if ultimately the books do endure and they're out there, and I think they'll continue to have life.
I agree.
That they'll make their way into, they'll find its little niche amongst the zillions of other Christmas things that are out there. And I think for some people,
anytime I run into the book, because the book's usually at hand because I'm usually doing something for you, I'll end up reading the whole story again.
Because all you have is 5 minutes, and it's the perfect book when you have 5 minutes, and it's Christmas time.
That's a good pitch.
Exactly. That's a really good pitch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Remember it for later.
No, it's there.
Just write that.
Because, sometimes people are like, oh, I want to read a book, but it's too long. I don't know if I have the time. Like, do you have 5 minutes? You have time for this book.
Exactly. I tell it, yeah, I'm going to send you a book. It's going to take you 5 minutes to read. Maybe 7. Maybe.
How long is the book? I'm curious.
It's not that long.
I mean, Cupid, the book itself, and here it is.
Oh, he's got it.
Oh, you got it. All right.
I mean, it's 110 pages, 106 pages, but like, there's a page.
It's beautiful.
It's mostly illustrated. I can turn to, this is.
Dead.
Oh, that looks really good.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, it has a
So
feel
it's got,
to it.
yeah. So there's pages like that, and it's let's see, like. Oh, here's another one with a lot of words.
I like how he says a lot of words, and it's like 4 lines.
My son, who's not even 8, he's like, it took me 5 minutes to read it.
Exactly. Larry like I can read graphic novels. It takes me like 15 minutes.
Wow.
All right. So I'm just gonna read one line because I opened to it, and I actually love this line. 181 years humping this wicked bitch of a root, and I've never chased a reindeer. So that's a whole page.
Very profound.
And that says a lot. That says a lot for the story.
Yeah. There's another one, but there's nothing but the wind.
It has a beautiful feel to it.
It does.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ralph, and thank you, Mata.
Yeah, folks, if you're looking for a good Christmas story that you're tired of the Christmas stories you've seen, then this is the story you want to read.
And it'll only take you 5 minutes to read.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And you will read it once a year and get some joy.
And you will get some joy by the end of it. It's funny because I feel like when you start reading it, you're like, oh, this is just one of those anti-Christmas things. But then by the end of it, you're like, oh my God.
Because he gives the greatest gift of all.
Yeah.
He gives freedom.
Yep. It's a big sacrifice. And through the whole thing, you're wondering what Santa's going to do.
It's funny you say that because when I wrote it as a short story originally, there was the tension was like, is he, there's that line, because Santa's got to do what he's got to do.
Yeah.
And that line originally in the original short story was pairing because he had the rifle and Cupid was attacking him. So what is he going to do? He's either going to like let Cupid go free or, have to save himself from getting pummeled by. And so that line sort of like resonated differently in the short story. But now that Santa's got to do what he's got to do is being Santa. He's got like Kurt Russell in Christmas Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
I got Christmas to save. It's the Christmas spirit. There's 5% left or something, whatever it was. He's looking at that at his watch. So there's that, and and then the other one with Mrs. Claus, she's got like this, that the line, it's a gal thing because
right.
She's the one who sort of like makes sure Christmas gets saved by giving Santa the right letter to read, and she knows exactly which one it is. So she's like uses her wiles to make sure. I mean, because it's her reason for being too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So folks, you better check this out. And it's on Amazon, right?
They're both on Amazon, and you can get to it through the Instagram link or just right through Amazon. They're there waiting. There's even a little video, I think, next to Mrs. Claus on Amazon. There's like a little yeah, there's like a little promo video for Mrs. Claus up there too.
I think I remember it. Let's see. I got you up right now on the website.
Yeah, I think on Amazon there's. Yeah, it's.
Let's see.
Maybe even through Instagram.
All right, those popped up right away. No, I think this is the digital. Yeah, this is the Kindle. Oh wait, I can press.
Oh, you know what? I think if you have Kindle Unlimited, I think both of the books.
Yeah, you can actually pick it up for free.
Yes, if you've got Kindle Unlimited, it's free. So what's better than that?
Love me some free.
So only so Bezos is going to make a little more cash on it. Not me.
You don't get royalties
on that one. No, I'm the other ones. But I don't even know how.
Nuts.
This is like, so you want to do Kindle Unlimited? I'm like, all right, whatever. Why not?
I thought they'd at least throw you something.
At least a little something, you know.
Yeah, my name in lights.
Look, it's his book.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll lose a few more of my packages.
They do it all the time. They do that all the time.
Yeah, I'm currently waiting for a package that has just mysteriously disappeared.
But
It's
actually,
still out for delivery.
I tout the virtues of Amazon all the time because I can't stand going to stores. And it's like I love to just go on Amazon and be like, oh, I need this, and this, and it's going to come like in the next anytime between like 2 hours and 2 days, and I don't have to go to a store and anything like that. It's just beautiful.
I hate it when I have a moment of like, all right, I'm going to go to a physical store and I'm going to get the thing I need. And then I go to the store and the thing isn't there. And just like, why did I bother?
Yeah. And there's like 8 million people in there and you got to wait online to pay for something.
Yeah. And there's like one really slow cashier and you're just like, you know what? No, I guess I'm going to go on Amazon, even though I didn't want to.
You know, I know that it's a certain evil, but I don't know. I'll still tout its virtues.
Sometimes you have
to. Yeah, and my Santa Claus is bemoaning the fact that it exists in the first place, which I find really ironic, considering that's where the book is for sale.
Oh man.
He's whining about the Apple Store, he's whining about Amazon, Walmart, all these stores, but that's where the book's for sale. So, c'est la vie. It's the world we live in.
That's kind of delicious.
Yeah,
it absolutely is.
Did you find that little video by chance, Ralph?
Let's see. On Instagram, I think I found it. Let's see.
If you go, it's in the bio, and if there's some links in the bio, I think that's for the video. Yeah, if you.
Cupid's for Christmas, Mr. Claus tells all. Let's see.
Yeah, it's Mrs. Claus. It's one of those. I think it takes you right there.
No, there it is. Why didn't it show up? I'm not gonna think about it. If I start thinking about things, we're all in trouble.
Too late, can't brain.
Yeah, it gets kind of painful sometimes, right?
Hey, I stop playing. There it is.
That's it. Mrs. Claus has got a tail too. Okay.
Let's see. Here we go. Great jazz music.
Christmas jazz. Thank you for playing that.
And for people get a taste of it.
A little taste of the misses.
Oh, man. All right, so folks, I see we are at the 1:30 mark, which means we have been geeking out. It looks also like our friend Rich Davis hasn't been able to come, but he was having trouble with the electricity, so I guess we'll see him at another day.
I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay too. He has some beautiful news to tell us because he's working on this new epic book, and this one is about angels. Oh, look. Our friend here can show a little bit of it.
Yeah, now I can.
Go for it.
I can finally.
There it is. Beautiful, isn't it, folks? I got one myself, and
Nice.
we had a long discussion with him at New York Comic Con. So if you guys want to go find out about that, go check out the interview we did with him. I think I'm about to put it back on YouTube probably today, but it is on Instagram. So if anything, go check out on Instagram or see later today on YouTube, and we have the whole interview we did with Rich Davis at New York Comic Con.
Sweet.
Ooh. All right. So, all right, Cliff, tell the people where they can find you one last time.
Cupid's Farewell Christmas, or at Cupid's Farewell Christmas on Instagram, or the books are available on Amazon, like everything else on Earth. And like Mata said,
Yeah, folks.
There's some kind of perverse beauty of Santa bemoaning Amazon, and then the book being for sale there. So
you gotta love it, folks. You gotta love it.
Yeah, and it's they're free on the Kindle Unlimited. So even if you just read it there, that's cool with me.
Check it out.
Yeah,
Check
exactly.
it out.
And Matt, all your beautiful stuff, because people are gonna want to go get your stuff. Where can they find you and all the good stuff?
So whamstand.com or at whamstand on really any of the social medias, but I'm mostly active on Instagram. That's where pretty much most of the updates, and if you want to chat, that's a great place to chat with me. I'm always on there, and just check it out. Got lots of stuff coming. I'm gonna try to get the goal for 2025 is to get into as many stores as possible, like physical stores. So hopefully we get there soon near you.
I do gotta hit something up because I can see that especially with talking to Avina enough times. So if somebody has an idea, they can actually sit down and talk to you about it, and you're gonna try to see if you can make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough these days just with the, I just really don't have that much time. It depends on what it is, but yeah, I love when people bring ideas to me. If it sounds like something that I can, manage, then yeah. If not, I'll be honest that, I simply don't have enough time. But yeah, I mean, Avina, he's been one of my earliest supporters, so, I kind of do treat him slightly differently. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everybody's ideas and feedback and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, if there's something cool that you think we can make, like let's talk about it. And if it's something that I think is feasible, then absolutely, I would absolutely be down to do it.
That's what
some things are pretty difficult to do with 3D printing, but some things aren't. There's a lot of it's kind of a give and take. So yes, I can. The long story short.
But it's funny though, because look at the mic stand in front of you. You would not know that's a mic stand where you can put those beautiful little wireless mics inside of it, and then have an actual mic, which is what I love about it. Because sometimes you're at the convention, you're like, I need something. I don't just want to be in front of somebody's face going, "Here, talking here." But
right.
I like the fact you can actually put it in the mic and go here.
Right, for sure.
I thought that was an actual microphone thingy, like a full-on mic.
Yeah.
But you just have like a little thing in there.
Exactly.
Right, yeah. That's just like a Rode wireless mic. It fits most wireless and wired mics. There's a hole that runs all the way through it. So if you wanted to plug it into your phone,
magic trick.
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's like it was but like that's what I was saying, so like this idea came together pretty fast. Like not fast, but like it's an idea that came to mind, and like, it definitely I was tired of just seeing people just hold the little mic like that. You know, I mean, I know I get also that it's like an aesthetic, so I understand that if people still want to do it, but it's just
I
you know,
don't
a
know.
little.
I think it works for some people because I can
For
swear
sure, it does.
anytime I'm
It
doing
does.
it, I'm like, I'm a big guy, so it's like, look at this little tiny mic.
Right.
Like this.
I feel like
For
I'd have
sure.
to like pinky up it like a little teacup.
You gotta be fancy. You
So
know?
Matt,
Gotta be
I'm
fancy.
gonna ask you a question. I mean, clearly the Christmas books will look great on those stands, but so
Yeah.
you make those with 3D printers, all of it, all the stuff?
Yeah, everything I do is really 3D printed. You know, like the spinner rack has an actual like bearing in it, you know, but yeah, everything's 3D printed.
Because I have another project that I talked a little bit with Ralph about the last time I was on, and it's let's just say it has a rainbow theme.
Okay. Cool.
Yep, exactly, Ralph. So we have a May. We've given ourselves a May deadline on it.
Ooh.
Okay.
But then we want, then we would probably want to do things and in display world, so to speak. And yeah, so it's the seeds planted. So
awesome. Yeah, no,
yeah.
And that's also the other thing, like being so new and having such new, kind of items to bring to the marketing community, I have to understand that, like people aren't just gonna be like, oh, here, like let me get it now, because it's like you didn't really know you wanted it, and then now when you go to do podcasts or say you want to start interviewing people at a convention, now you're like, oh, okay, cool, now I can use this, and you kind of plan it into what you're doing. So I remember you asked me earlier if I thought it was going to, like take off and stuff. And, maybe yes, but then also like I also really learned that it's new and I have to kind of be patient and let people kind of see it. And that you guys were talking about marketing, like I'm not a marketer. I don't market. I don't know how to market stuff. Like, granted, these are for marketing, but I don't know how to get it out there. Like these are for your marketing, but I don't know how to market my market. So like
Marketing the marketing
it's
product.
tough.
Exactly.
It's a tough thing. Marketception. There you go. Yeah. So it's been a trip, man. It's been I've learned so much in the last few years, and I'm still learning every single day.
My magic crystal ball says Shark Tank.
That sounds stressful as hell.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel like I'd have to get like patents and stuff, but like I don't know if you really patent what I'm doing because it's so adjustable.
Yeah, but it's really cool, and it's like it's perfect. It's perfect for books.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're really neat. And
yeah, thank you. It's a lot of fun.
We're gonna have like this other thing, and I can see them working really
cool.
well with this. Yeah, so.
Awesome.
It's in the brain.
I look forward to hearing about it.
And if I somehow forget your name, I'll just ask Ralph.
All right, sounds good.
Come on, surely you'll remember Whamstand.
Yes, I'll remember
Whamstand.
Yeah.
I'll do the same thing I did with Heru. I'll take the Whamstand, which I'm looking at right now, and then I'll put it into the comments section, so you guys can go check it out. Well, cool. I already have it in the other comment section. I meant more about the regular section over here, the private section.
Yeah, I followed you guys and all that stuff. So yeah, I'll basically I was gonna grab some graphics and send them over to my partner, and he can work on them when he has some free time. So maybe they're ready to go and whatnot. So have them ready.
I gotta say, man, I like how you work things up. I love the fact that, and then I think the thing that helps you out too is not that cost. It doesn't cost as much as people think it does.
No, it doesn't. No, it's not. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I try to be as cost effective as possible. Like, I don't have crazy packaging. I am working on some packaging, but that's also for shelves on stores. So that's a little different. But typically I pack things as well as I can, overly pack things, but like also it's almost like I'm moving. I use a lot of like paper, like moving paper and stuff like that. So I do try to be as cost effective as possible so people can afford it and can use it, because what am I going to do with it just sitting here with these ideas? I'd rather get those ideas out.
Yeah.
I don't want to raise prices, but I could, I don't want to, but eventually I may have to if I just can't keep, I'd rather start low, get it out, not start low, but like I'd start at a price where I can afford and everybody can afford and move from there,
I feel like as you figure things out and as you do better things, you're probably going to have to raise the price because you're doing better things.
Right, it's just going to be the nature of the business. Yeah, exactly. The nature of because if I'm going to want to continue to doing it, I have to charge a certain price. I'd like to be as low as possible because I'd like you to have it rather than me have it. We just have these ideas, so it will always be as cost effective as possible.
And you're very cheap, folks. Go check them out. I've been telling you all
wouldn't say cheap.
Yeah, that's
inexpensive. You're very inexpensive. And I've been telling you, go and check out Whamstand because you know you want something from him. I don't care what part of your lifestyle is, but dude, this guy does a lot of great stuff.
Thank you.
If not, check out Avena Comics, and he has half the stuff.
Most of pretty much everything he has, I've done. So yeah, for sure. No, he's great. He's amazing.
Oh my god, folks. It has been a great Christmas bonanza here. Jordan, I think you threw some things over here. What am I showing?
I mean, the first two links are good, but
because I think Wonderland is
Rich's store.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
he ain't here, so I got to do it for him.
Here we go. So I'm gonna throw Rich's stuff up. You're gonna talk.
Yep.
Boom. There we go.
So the guest who couldn't make it here used to have a comic book store. Now he has another one.
Another one, damn.
Yep. It's called Wonderland Comics, as you can see. I haven't been there because it's too far away. But
how far is it from you?
Well, he's Tennessee. I'm Ohio.
Oh, he's Tennessee. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought it was closer to you. Okay.
Nope.
Here's Rich's site. Of course, you guys know him from
Reign of Dracula, Rise of Dracula, Cult of Dracula, and Prometheus in Chains.
And his stuff is fantastic. Go check him out. And I gotta say, when I have him on the show to talk about the new Angel book, you guys are gonna be taken aback.
Angel Hunter.
Exactly.
Which again, now I can finally see because I have it in my hand finally.
That's right. Jordan just got his package a couple of days ago, right?
Yesterday.
Yeah, there you go.
Even though Nathan said he paid 2-day shipping.
He probably did, but knowing the way the post office is at this hour of the
crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Holiday season shipping, you're never gonna get that when they say you'll get it.
Well, Tony's package showed up a day early.
Well, that's because Tony's magic.
I know.
Roman Tony does Roman stuff,
and then like I was saying in the chat, DHL is like the fastest shipping service I've ever seen ever.
So what's this here?
So Monsters We Make is a new manga series that is starting up.
Dude, I love this.
Yeah, there is the only purchase option available is Volume 1, but you also get a digital version thrown in. It's like $13, even with shipping. I mean, from what I've heard of it, it's pretty neat.
This is pretty neat. So I'm impressed by the little commercial thing you got here.
It's like 268 pages for the first volume.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a book.
Yeah.
That's a brick.
Exactly.
That too.
All right. So go ahead, Jordan.
And then, all these people that we have had on here today talking about neat Christmas ideas if you want to get their stuff. But as far as another person that we have here, if you're ever looking for stuff like this.
Oh, hold on. I'll put you up.
Yep. If you're ever looking for neat stuff like this,
Oh, that looks like a Shadow Rabbit exclusive.
Amazing.
That looks like a Shadow Rabbit exclusive.
Sure is.
I gotta say,
like you, Jordan. You know that.
Shadow Rabbit is the man. He's just like Whamstand.
I was checking some of the stuff out earlier. Pretty cool.
I gave $1 to someone's Kickstarter, and
you got a steal. That's what you got.
Yeah.
if you guys want to see a little bit of Shadow Rabbit's work,
But you know something, we made a friend out of it because now Jordan's on the show. So
Exactly.
Well,
I think we got the better deal.
Yeah.
Let's see, where is Shadow? Here we go. Shadow's right here. All right, so
Sorry,
folks,
I'm walking my son in a stroller this whole time. I've tried to stop a few times when he wakes up. So,
dude, this is the work of Mr. Shadow Rabbit right here. He does amazing things. He makes your dreams into reality.
Or your nightmares.
No, that's
true. So, Shadow, go ahead.
oh, hey guys.
Hi.
Lewis, your friendly neighborhood Shadow Rabbit, and I make all handmade custom sculptures. I do toys, prototypes, miniatures, whatever floats your boat. Here's a whole bunch of dragons because dragons are really cool.
That they are. I like how you do the teeth. Like, that is not easy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, when I can finally start posting up some of the commissions that I've been working on, because most of them are Christmas ones, I've got some pretty sick dragons that I've made. I finally did like a full dental lineup on one of these dragons. So like I had to make like 100 teeth. I was making like tiger shark teeth.
Oh my goodness.
So I was just sitting there like, making little like serrated dragon teeth all night. That's fun.
Dude, look at this new little piece here. All lit up.
Yeah, I love it when he puts the lights in there.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I like when he gets creative.
He's always creative.
And
Yeah,
that was
guys, you were talking
guys,
about finding a few hours to do stuff. So if I ever find those, I get to play around a little bit.
I like when you play around.
Hit Point, we got to play those too.
Oh, dude, Hit Point. Folks, if you're looking for a good game for Christmas, Hit Point is the way to go. These guys are fantastic. We saw them at the what was it, the Long Island
TCG,
Hard Trade
right?
Show? Yeah. Dude, and I got mine. You got yours already too, right, Shadow?
Yeah, I just got it. I didn't. I've got quite a few things I've got to catch up on, but I have a pile of very cool Kickstarters and other things I've received in the mail. So
yeah, there you go. Long Island Trade. Dude, we have fun. We like hanging out. We like going to the conventions, as you can tell. And Shadow does great work.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
The textures, my goodness, the textures.
Wow. I feel like the dragons have become one of your things now.
I don't mind
funny,
it.
like I kind of started with them, and then you come back to it comes right back to where you belong eventually, right?
Full circle, back to the dragons.
All the D&Ders have to come after you now. So, folks, that is Mr. Shadow Rabbit. He is a blast. Like I said, if you want to commission him, hit him up. He can make your dreams or nightmares, like Madison, into reality.
I love the sinister laugh after that.
Right? That was good.
I've been working on my new video for Christmas, and let's just say the ho 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 doesn't sound the same as it should sound.
Oh dear.
Oh, I can't wait.
Almost did it right there. Folks, it has been a blast. These folks do amazing work. Go check them out. Madam, dude, I know you put the Kickstarter here.
Oh yeah, that was for Always Punch Nazis, which is coming up.
I cannot believe you are part of Always Punch Nazis.
I can't believe I'm part of Always Punch Nazis either. But yeah, my friend Will Allred reached out to me because he had an 8-page story in the anthology, and he's like, "Hey, do you have time for art?" I'm like, "I sure do." So yeah, I'm gonna do the art. He's gonna do the writing.
What's that?
And yeah, I'm excited about this. It's an honor to be a part of this.
No, I can show you.
Because this apparently this well, Always Punch Nazis has history. Okay. It apparently got Kickstarter to unionize. Like, it was that deep.
I remember that. Yeah. It got in trouble for a while.
Yeah, it got in trouble, and it got Kickstarter to actually form a union, which is amazing.
Wow. That was a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was a while ago.
Yeah, we always like talking to Jay Hewer about it.
I can't believe they're on the omnibus already. My God, I remember when he was just like previewing it.
I got all 3 issues, so I'll probably end up getting this too.
Awesome. I'll put my art book thing here too, because I probably should be
That's
promoting
right,
that, even though I'm
Dude, you should
incredibly
be throwing yourself off, Lee.
I should
you've
be.
got something dropping soon, don't you?
I do.
Always.
Talk.
Yeah, I'm. All right. So I'm launching a Kickstarter campaign for a 100-page hardcover, very fancy art book called Some Fancy Shit, because it's some fancy shit.
Nice.
I love the name.
Thank you. It's on brand for me, because I draw fancy things, but as you can tell, I don't take anything seriously, so I had to give it a silly name. But yeah, it's gonna be like my favorite drawings that I've done since 2020, so it's like 4 years worth of very good art. And yeah, it's going to be a limited edition, because I don't like to keep lots of books around, because I don't have a lot of storage space. So basically, it's only like the hardcover version is only going to be available for this campaign, which launches on January 13th through the 23rd. And like you can get digital copies after, but like the hardcover is just super duper limited edition, because I don't want to just have hardcover books that I'm like using as a bed.
Oh no, those hardcover books are no joke, man.
They're heavy, they take up space. Like I still have so many trade paperbacks and boxes that I'm like selling little by little. And do I have it here? Yeah, like this book alone, like this is a brick. And I have like 300 of these already.
Whoa.
So
Nice.
Yeah, that's serious, dude.
Well, that makes sense to have those.
Entertainment console.
That's issue 1 through 5, right?
Yeah, it's issues 1 through 5 of Sacrimony. I'm gonna be launching issue 8 sometime in March, but one thing at a time. Art book first, because that's fun stuff.
One thing at a time.
It's really more of like a self-indulgent type thing, where I'm just like, I really want to make an art book. I've always wanted to make an art book since I was like the kind of person that would collect, like the video game manuals and stuff back in the Nintendo and NES.
I still got a bunch of those.
Yeah, I would collect them just because I like looking at the art, and then I got into art books and I was like, man, I would love to have enough drawings to fill up an entire book one day, and it's like, now I do. So this is like, I want an art book, and whoever else wants to buy one, like, you're welcome to do so.
Dude, that is an achievement, though, that you've got that much high quality artwork.
Thank you.
Really
I can't believe it either. It's been a long 4 years.
So, folks, one last thing here.
You're at 95.
Oh, Ralph, before we go, my son has a request.
What's up?
Well, since he's been in the background watching everything going on, he wants to share one drawing. So I'm going to hold it.
Oh, sure. He can share as much as he wants. We're here for the art. Deadpool. I love Deadpool.
Mind you, he's 7.
That's awesome.
That's better than I was at 7.
Oh, dude. That's better than I am now.
They're pretty impressed, Blake. They're pretty impressed.
There's more. It's not showing. There's more.
I know, it's hard to see. But the Deadpool is the one.
It's showed a couple times already.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
Maybe
High five.
Maybe Mark
High five.
has one of them. She's got
All right, you're leaving me hanging, buddy. On my
There we go.
Had to get his hand out of the blanket.
That's a parent thing.
Thank you, Ralph.
No problem. One last thing here, folks. We suck at comics. If, like, as you heard me talking earlier, I am not the one to publish. I am working on something, but when that happens, who knows? But we suck at comics. It's your chance to see a written Ralph piece published and ready to go. And on top of that, you get a beautiful art piece from Shadow Rabbit, and this art piece is his drawing, not his clay.
I cannot wait to see that.
Too often. Ralph,
Exactly.
Ralph is inspiring enough.
That's why I was telling you, folks. That alone should get you to go follow and support this and buy it when it comes out. A shadow art piece attached to a written Ralph written piece. That's just rare as it is. And this is the first time for both of those on We Suck at Comics, because you know what? We suck at comics.
We do suck at comics. No matter how good you get at comics, you will always hear that voice in the back of your head like, you suck.
Oh, man. And I love the title of it. Folks, they're at 95. I am so happy, like Matt just said. Go get them to 100. 100 is a great place to get them to start great in the algorithm. Folks, anytime you see one of these projects and they're at the notify button part, it's free to press the button to get it to notify, and it helps out the project so much.
Yep, it tells Kickstarter like, hey, people are interested in this, so they'll actually start promoting it more within their own platform as well. So hit that follow button. Very important. It is the best free way that you can help a creator. If you can't give them money, at least give them a follow.
Exactly.
Amen.
People really appreciate it.
And of course, we all know, we always say this here, we raise each other up. It's easier to rise when we all raise each other up, folks. And that's why the show has been here all this time. We are starting now on our 10th year.
How does
our 9th anniversary. We just had our 9th anniversary. We started our 10th year. And we're trying to work all the plans on what we're going to do with the 10th year. So if you got ideas, send them our way. I do know we're going to give some stuff away, because you have to give some stuff away, and other than that, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do, but
same thing we do every night, Ralph.
10th year.
Try to take over the world.
Dun, 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 dun.
And folks, all I have to say now is I am happy you joined us for our extra special holiday bonanza Christmas show, all the good stuff. Ho, ho, ho. And with that, I'll press that button and
stop. No one knows.
as everybody
And that's